Let's try something. Imagine I remove the logos from Airbnb, Uber, and Headspace. They all have the same rounded cards, soft gradients, airy white space, and a 4-pixel border radius. Now, without a further dive, could you tell me which one is which? We have more brilliant design tools than ever. Figma, Lovable, Framer, all sorts of design systems and motion libraries. And yet, everything looks like it was designed by the same team in one room using a similar template. We didn't run out of ideas. We optimized ourselves into a corner. Welcome to Design Unhinged. I'm Pat. Today we're talking about how the more we optimize for usability and metrics, the more our interfaces quietly converge toward a global average. Let's start with a clear statement. I'm not trying to say usability is bad. I'm not saying data is evil. This video is not about bringing back the ugly chaos of the late 90s web. What I'm talking about today is fear. Corporate fear. The fear of 2% retention drop. The fear of being different. The fear of explaining why something feels unfamiliar. So what do? We copy the leader. Let's look at some examples. Airbnb's layout, Uber's flow, Lineo's gradients and Stripe's minimal landing page, bento boxes and glass morphism, soft drop shadow, and the list goes on. They're all professional, very clean, and very safe. And sometimes it feels like this is slowly killing distinctiveness. Design systems started as libraries. They became guardrails, and in some places they're starting to feel like prisons. When every team uses the same best practice, no one stands out. Brand identity gets sacrificed for usability scores. Fun and delight get traded for compliance. We're not designing experiences anymore. We're filling out digital paperwork. I'm about to say something uncomfortable. If you disagree, good. Tell me in the comments. A/B testing does not innovate. It iterates. It optimizes for what already works. So let me give you an example of what I mean. You launch something visually unique. It might cause a bit of friction, so users hesitate for half a second longer, which indicates conversion dropping by 2%. In corporate meetings, that's a failure. So the unique version dies. The standard version survives. Repeat that cycle across thousands of products. What do you get? Convergence. In biology, entropy is the tendency toward equilibrium. In design, aesthetic entropy is the tendency toward sameness. And data is not the villain, but it optimizes for the known. If you only design based on what worked yesterday, you are mathematically guaranteed to end up with the global average. No one explicitly chooses blandness. It emerges from risk minimization. And it's not that designers lack imagination, it's that the system punishes mutation. But mutation is how styles evolve. So how do you escape entropy without throwing usability out the window? You become opinionated, not reckless, opinionated. Look at Arc by the browser company. It rethought the browser layout entirely. Tabs moved, space changed. It felt fucking weird. And if you look at Mischief, their interfaces sometimes feel intentionally abrasive. They're memorable because they break the pattern. And there's also the rise of new brutalism in web design, which uses harsh lines, loud types, and less polish. They're not anti-UX or anti-usability. What they are is anti-sameness. People have a fear that weird design is bad UX. But in a sea of sameness, weird is memorable and friction can be branding. Now, my point is not to ignore usability laws. It's just to stop treating them like scripture. Best practices are the floor, not the ceiling. You don't ignore what works, you push beyond it. Opinionated design says we understand the rules and we're choosing deliberately where to bend them. I feel like we're at crossroads. We can let AI and data generate 1 trillion versions of the same perfectly optimized interface, or we can accept that some risk is the cost of having a point of view. If every interface feels invisible and every dashboard feels interchangeable, maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe it is entropy. And the solution is not chaos, it's courage. Not rebellion for the sake of it, but intention. If an interface is so perfect that you don't even notice it, does it actually exist? Now, if you're tired of the bento boxes, hit subscribe and drop me a comment of what interface you've seen copied one too many times. And if you want to go deeper than the YouTube allows, I write longer pieces on Substack. The link is in the description. And as always, here on Design Unhinged, we don't just optimize, we design with a pulse.